Another bad loss. That's the way this season's going, man. It looks like. So, listen, if you watched, I had made that playoff push video, and I was talking about the last 9 games, including the Houston game, right? For a possibility of making the playoffs, which is now looking like a complete joke. But what did I say in that video? I did say that the Cardinals weren't going to be easy, and I said the Cardinals was actually like a key game in that stretch to make a playoff push. They had to beat the Cardinals. And then I think I also said something along the lines of, if they don't beat the Cardinals, then I guess you could just throw it all out the window. So it looks like that's what we're pretty much going to do here as far as a Jets season goes. But if you want to be one of these eternal optimists, which I don't think I am at this point anymore with this team, but if you really want to be an eternal optimist here, and you want to go back to that video where I was laying out the whole last 9 games, including the Houston game, what they had to do, I said, what did I say? I said they got to go at least 8-1, at the worst 7-2, right? In the last 9. Beating Houston, I said, was 1-0. But now with the Cardinal loss, they're already at 1-1 in the last 9. So what does that mean? That means basically they have to win out now at this point, which really is a joke at this point. Or, at worst case scenario, lose one more and win the rest. So, either way, it's like a joke at this point. But it is what it is. I mean, this is a post-game video. The only highlight that I can recall in this game is that hit on Murray. Quincy laid that hit on him where he knocked his helmet off. Like, that was a highlight play. That was a good play. But other than that, man, there ain't much to talk about here. Cardinals pretty much just did what they wanted. They went up and down the field like the Jets were a fucking high school team. So, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what the answer is at this point. I mean, in a way, I feel like I do. I think the Jets just have to they got to find a really good coach. That's really what they got to do. And I think are you bringing Rodgers back next year? I mean, come on. Let me tell you something. I said it from the beginning, and I keep reiterating it. He was just not the correct direction to go in for this team when they were all enamored with getting him. And I said, what the fuck are they thinking of wanting this guy? Like, he literally is a plug-and-play win now piece to the puzzle. And when you do that, it normally doesn't work. So, but the fact that they went all in on Rodgers really hurt this organization a lot more than, what I think even the organization realizes, because, now you're just setting the team back. Now, now we still have to find a franchise quarterback, and it looks to me like, I mean, how could you bring this guy back? How could you start Rodgers again next year? I mean, I said the only way it would make sense to me is if they're either able to draft a really promising prospect, or one of the guys they have turns into a really good prospect and you want him to just really learn. You let him learn under Rodgers next year. But with the Jets' luck, they'll win enough games to fuck their draft up and put them outside of a possibility to get any type of a legit quarterback. I mean, I don't know how good that guy is going to be. The guy we drafted this year, Jordan Travis. I heard he was really good. He just had a really bad injury. So we'll see. Maybe he's the guy now. Maybe you fucking put him in now if he's ready to play. But it looks to me like maybe he still has a little bit more time to go. If he's still questionable, then obviously you don't want to play him and risk an injury to what was already a bad injury. So you wait until the guy is 100%, and then if that time comes at some point in the season, I think you got to put him in, even if it's for like 2 games. Just put him in and just see what he could do. maybe he is, maybe he is a sleeper. Maybe he's a surprise. He could be one of these guys that, steps in, he's the steal of the draft. So you never know. But anyway, getting back to this team and this season, it's like I said in some other videos, we're going to have to start finding some more shit to talk about. So, like, for example, if this quarterback, Jordan Travis, if he's ready to play, put him in. You got to put him in. We need to look at, I don't know who they're going to look at to be the coach of this team. I really don't. It's got to be somebody, man, with some merit, somebody who really has, some type of a proven track record to coach, I think. If you go with somebody who's unproven, you might set the team back another 4 fucking years. This team is in a pretty tough predicament, I think, because they put all their chips in on Rodgers, and that clearly is not working, and he's not getting younger. And like I said, I don't see how he could really start next year. And on top of that, now you have a coaching issue. So, I mean, where's this team going at this point? It would take a miraculous type of turnaround or something unsuspected that may happen, like maybe this quarterback, Jordan Travis, maybe this guy he's a steal. Maybe they step into some shit and get the right fucking coach for once. These are things that have to come together for this team. I don't know if they're going to keep Douglas. I mean, I like Douglas. I think he's a pretty good GM. I don't really have the issue with Douglas as much as, I have the issue with them selling the farm to get Rodgers. That was just such a bad fucking mistake. You got to think long term. You got to think growth. You got to think, you want a quarterback that can grow with the team, man, and be on the team for 10, 15 years. That's what you need. And they had that opportunity with Baker Mayfield. He was available. He did not have a team when the Jets were looking for Rodgers. And I have said this in numerous videos. I don't even think they called the fucking guy. So, I mean, somebody in their prime who is a solid quarterback and competitive, tough, gritty, plays the game pretty well. How do you not fucking, how do you pass that up for a 40-year-old who can literally only, even if he would have been playing good, he can only give you a couple of years. And he hasn't been playing good. He missed his entire first year, and this year has been a disaster. I mean, you can blame it on coaching if you want, but how much are you going to blame on coaching? The players have to go out there and play too. So I don't know. I don't know. Again, a very disappointing loss, which is embarrassing at this point. If you're the fucking, it's almost like the Jets called it a day with the season. So, and when that happens, it makes it tough being a fan. It makes it tough, especially when, I said I would stay committed to the channel and the weekly videos no matter what, but I mean, if the season really is tanking like this, I mean, these videos become hard to make too. There's really not too much to talk about other than what can we do to fix the problem and where do they go from here. So we'll just see what happens, how it plays out. So that's pretty much it for this post-game video, if you even want to call it that. And look for I think next we have the Colts. Even if they go out and they beat the Colts, I'm still not, I really don't, I think my delusion is over. So I'm sane again. So I don't really, if they beat the Colts and then they beat the Seahawks, right? Even if they beat the Colts, the Seahawks, and the Dolphins, I don't know, then the delusion might come back then a little bit. But listen, the chances of this team going to the playoffs at this point, we could kind of call it a day with that. I just don't see it happening. So look for the, like I said, these videos, they're getting tough to make. I mean, I was just going to say, look for the Colt prediction video, but what can I possibly say in that video? So it'll be very short. And that's it, man.